hung up the phone, sat there for a minute. I was like, why did I just say
Amen.
in front of people? So then he told me I had to go for like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, Lord.
That's all right.
Because I have nothing.
That's all right.
So I'll start where Calvin left off.
Amen.
In 14, stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place. So, I had nothing.
That's all right.
So I sat and I prayed, and I'm like, God, that doesn't give me a whole lot. Like, I don't know what to say. And so I looked up breastplate. Like, I wanted to know what it meant to have an actual breastplate on when people used to fight with armor on. And it said it was one of the most important pieces because it protected your heart. Mm-hmm. And it was the heaviest and thickest piece of metal that they wore so that arrows and swords couldn't pierce it. And I was like, okay. So then I looked up righteousness. And in Hebrew, it comes from a word sadiq, which means just or lawful. And in Greek, it came from dikaios, which means innocent, flawless, and guiltless. And I was like, it all kind of tied together for me there. It was kind of deep because, you know, God looks at us through Jesus Christ when we accept him into our heart. And he sees us righteous. He sees us with no flaws, no faults, no guilt. And I was like, that's a lot to take in. And to know that Jesus is our breastplate to protect our heart, which is the most important organ, not only in our physical body because it pumps the blood to the rest of our body to live, but because Jesus, we filter everything through our heart. Our heart is what shows our character. We're judged on the contents of our heart. And God's saying that our heart is so important in our spiritual walk that we need to guard it with the thickest piece of metal. Because what we take into our heart becomes our thoughts. And what become our thoughts become our actions when we speak out of our mouths. And so that alone, I was just like, wow, you know this is God because I'm not that smart to come up with all that.
Amen.
Praise God.
So as I started looking into it, it said in Proverbs 27:19, as water reflects a face, so a man's heart reflects the man. So then again, it's just telling us we really have to guard our hearts with what we take in. In Psalms 119:11, it says, I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you.
Amen.
In Psalms 37:30, it says, the mouth of the righteous man utters wisdom, and his tongue speaks what is just. So over and over, I looked it up, and there was like 287 times in the Bible that it spoke about being righteous. And it's just telling us, really guard what you take into your heart. Use Jesus. Focus on him. It made me start looking up other things which didn't have anything to do with this. But I wondered, with the breastplate, what protected their back? And it doesn't speak of anything in the armor of God about protecting your back. And so I started praying on that, and God said, you're supposed to focus forward. Don't get so held up and caught up in what's behind us and what we did or what we used to do or what someone might have done to us, that we forget to keep looking forward. And if we're facing our enemy forward, he can't hurt us because we have the breastplate of righteousness on. We have Jesus right here to keep us from anything that could try and pierce our hearts. So that was, you know, big, because I know personally there's a lot of times I get hung up on what someone did to me. I'm so hurt, or what circumstance I might have just went through, and I'm so focused on that I forget to focus forward. So then I looked up the word sin in the Hebrew, and I can't pronounce the word, but it means just to miss the target. And I thought it all tied together because if I'm trying to shoot this target and I have my back to it, how am I ever going to hit it? I'm going to keep sinning. So I need to make sure that I'm facing forward, that we remember that through Jesus we're righteous in God's eyes, no matter what we've gone through, what we're going through. We need to focus forward and keep our eyes on the target. So that's what I got.
Amen.
Praise God. Amen.